Good evening and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Swartz Talking Sports. I'm your host, Steven Swartz, but everyone out there, you all know me as Les. Back again, I've got Al and Benny in the wings. It's been a long time since all three of us have been on the same show, so pretty excited. We have Joni, the chat girl, back in the seat to my right, and of course, the man behind the magic, Tony, the wizard, Smeraldi. He was the tiger, but I just renamed him the wizard. So without further ado, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We got championship games, and again, we've got a poll question out there. We'll get to that after I get my two co-hosts in here, but we're going to do an up for discussion tonight. Biggest trade in sports history. There's going to be a lot of great debate back and forth. I can't wait to get that started, but before we do that, let me bring in my two co-hosts for tonight. First of all, my man from Jacksonville, former Florida A&M Rattler, national championship quarterback, and voice of the Rattlers on the basketball and football broadcast with Melvin Beal, my man, Al, the Rattler Chester.
From my days in Japan, Konnichiwa, my brother from another mother.
Oh, my God. He's speaking Japanese, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my sushi when I need it? Give me some sake. All right, Al, listen, thanks for being back in the saddle. And what do we got in the wings? We got the man originally from New York, and now he's Leland's own, Benny the Book Stamilli.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good to see you. How you doing, Al? Les, good to see you.
Benny the Book, my man.
Benny the Book. We got the Yankees and Red Sox right here, Benny, just for you. We got the Red Sox Yankees.
We had a lot of action. A lot of action this week. A lot of good games.
A lot of great games. We're going to get to those. First of all, if this is your first time tuning into Swartz Talking Sports, hit that subscribe button. That's right. That's that little button under the show. Hit it. Subscribe, comment. We love to know your comments on our show, on the content. Let us know how we're doing. And please ask any questions. We'll do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. So, guys, we got some viewers out there tonight. We got a lot of things going on. Let's start really quickly with the Final Fours. Both the women's and men's this weekend came to a conclusion. Well, we got the women's side first, the UConn Huskies. Congratulations to head coach Gino Auriemma. His 12th national championship, which betters John Wooden's number 11 at UCLA. He is now the all-time championship winning coach in collegiate basketball history. So congratulations to the Lady Huskies, 82-59 over Dawn Staley's South Carolina Gamecocks. I'll go to you, Al, first. I was kind of surprised a little bit. They blew them out in the regular season, 87-58 at South Carolina, but I really thought that the Gamecocks would give them a much better test this time around, but boy, from the outset, it didn't look like it.
Now, I tell you what, UConn opened up a can of beat my butt on South Carolina. I'll tell you that. And Dawn Staley, I think, kind of knew that. She felt like, I believe in her heart, that UConn had a better basketball team. All coaches hope that their players will step up their game, obviously. But I tell you what, UConn was powerful. The girl inside, the big girl inside, she was dominant. And it was a great contest. But, she backed out, played a lot of her players. Gino kept his foot on the gas, but he got the win. Salute to Gino and his girls for doing a tremendous job and being the national champs for this year.
Book, you got to be happy for the Huskies, especially with the injuries the last couple of years. Becker's going down, and then AZ Fudd, 2 times tearing her ACL, right? Yeah. You got to love her, right?
Yeah, she was awesome. She took over the game, Fudd. She was really, she was the dominant force. I mean, she was to the hoop constantly during the game, and UConn really deserved it because they beat the number 1 team in the semifinals. They destroyed South Carolina, the reigning champs. They earned it. They really did. And they ever since that loss in the middle of the season, the girls just like stepped it up. And that the young freshman Ncaa, she's going to be a superstar in the next 2 years.
Sarah Strong, fantastic.
Yeah.
Side bit on Sarah Strong. I don't know if you guys knew that or people out there that her mom, Allison Feaster, actually played at Harvard, and she engineered one of the biggest upsets in women's college basketball history. They were seeded number 16, and they upset the number 1 ranked Stanford Cardinal back in the 90s. So she looks like a chip off the old block right there, and she's going to be around stores for another 3 years.
It was kind of they played USC, I think, in the
Elite Eight, the regional final,
and that was a big blow USC had. They lost the best player in college basketball. It could have been a little different story, if she played.
Well, hopefully she's healthy out next year. Juju Watkins, right, comes back with the Trojans.
Yeah. She's spectacular, that girl.
We got some. Do we get something on that game, Tony? Clip. Yeah, Tony's going to run a quick clip. Let's hope we don't get dinged out there, but for running this. But little clip on the UConn beating the South Carolina Gamecocks, Lady Gamecocks, 82-59 to win this year's women's NCAA championship.
Championships over the last 9 years. They have won 2 of the last 4, and we know they're not going anywhere.
Couldn't be happier for the Lady Huskies, especially Paige Beckers, who, I mean, listen, guys, she came in as the overall number 1 recruit 4 years ago, right? She went to the finals her first year and lost. Then she got hurt. I think they made the Final Four the 3 years, and they knocked off by Iowa last year at the buzzer. I think they just lost that game. So coming back from being banged up, she wins it going out, and she'll probably be the first round pick. Number 1 pick in the WNBA coming up. So, so congratulations to the Lady Huskies, guys. Florida, Al, got to congratulate you, state of Florida, Florida Gators, and we got some Gator fans out there. I know the Simmons folks down in Santa Rosa Beach, proud Gator alums. They were psyched the entire night. It was close, guys. 65-63 in a game that, let's be honest here, guys. We were texting back and forth. I think this was a really ugly game. I thought it was sloppy. I mean, first of all, I'm going to throw this out to both you guys, and I want to get your opinions on this. And everyone out there, by the way, if you have an opinion on these games, let us know, right? The referees call 4 total fouls in the first half. They let hand checking go. They let a lot of things go, and then all of a sudden in the second half, they go and they call 25 combined fouls. As a player, Al, I'll throw this as you. As a player out there, you're used to the way the game is being officiated. How in the world are you supposed to adjust on the fly when the referees flip the switch in the second half, and all of a sudden they're blowing the whistle left and right on things that they let go in the first half? And that really affected the flow of the game. I felt like there was no flow to this game. There just wasn't. There was a whistle. Right. There was. I couldn't get into this game.
You're right. The tempo of the game is set by the referees. And I watched, because I call the basketball games in the SWAC, I watched the same thing happen in SWAC basketball. The first half, no fouls are called. I mean, it's rough and tough. You think the players need shoulder pads and helmets. The second half, every little touch is a foul. And it kills the tempo and the flow of the game. It has to throw the players off a little bit. But any way you look at it, you got to get that ball in the hoop more times than your opponent. But that's why I always say those free throws in those big games are crucial. They mirror special teams in football to me, punting, extra points. And I tell you what, but it throws the tempo of the game completely off when the referees change the philosophy the second half.
Couldn't agree. Benny, let me ask you a question. Were you surprised, forget about the championship game, were you kind of surprised the way that Houston came back on Duke in the semifinal game Saturday? Because I think everyone, except for the people who live in Houston, really had Duke penciled for a Final Four appearance against Florida. Were you surprised on how that game ended?
Oh, absolutely. I had Houston plus 4.5 points, and they were down 9 points with 56 seconds to go. I went to bed. I was about to go to bed, and Duke was so dominant the whole game, and then all of a sudden, they couldn't do anything. Same thing. It was like funny, like in the Houston game, they lose by 3 4 times in a row. They go down on offense. They don't even get a shot 4 times in a row, and they lose by 3.
Yeah, you're going to talk about offensive inefficiency. Like you said,
I kind of think it was like destiny that Florida won, because I watched every one of their games, and I think that UConn should have beat them. I think Texas Tech should have beat them. I think Auburn should have beat them, and I think Houston should have beat them. And they ended up winning, pulling all those games out. I mean, Clayton, up until the last game, he was sensational. I mean, I never seen anything like it. He was just throwing up 3-pointers with guys in his face, and he was swishing them, and no one could guard him. It was an ugly game. Like you said, there was no flow. I think in the first 3 minutes, they called 6 fouls on Florida. And then in a 9-second span, they called 3 or 4 fouls on Houston. Yeah. And the Florida coach was complaining, and the referee even told them, look at the scoreboard, because Houston had so many more fouls called on them than Florida did. I mean, there was no flow to the game. Well, even though it was an exciting game, but it wasn't one of your better.
It wasn't a well-played championship game, guys. Let's face it.
But both teams were battle tested. Both teams had won games, close games.
Yes.
And when you get in a tournament like that, I mean, it's a new season. It's one and done. So you gotta get that ball in the hoop, man. And if you can hit the free throws, I think, and get fortunate, get lucky, because Houston manufactured about 7-8 points in the last 3 or 4 minutes, I think, on Duke.
Yeah.
And Florida basically did the same thing. Florida didn't lead that game, but one time the entire game. Right. They played from behind the entire game.
I think it was like something like 30 seconds or 36 seconds they led in the game at Florida.
That's right. The entire game.
They laid 8-6, and then they didn't lead until 19 seconds or 20 seconds to go.
Guys, we can say a lot about Florida. The one thing that comes to mind, really, with the Gator fans is resilient. I mean, let's face it, like you said, Benny, they were battle-tested. They played they had a knockoff UConn, which this wasn't the UConn team of the last couple of years ago, but they played a really good game. Texas Tech is a very good team, a quality team out of the Big 12. They were down big by 12 in the second half. And they came back and won that game. And Walter Clayton Jr., to your point, both you guys, reminded me of the run that Kemba Walker went on back with UConn. I think it was in 2011 when he went on that crazy run. Now, Houston did a heck of a job shutting him down. I mean, they picked up the dribble at half court. They doubled him. They got the ball out of his hand.
He didn't score in the first half.
He didn't score the first half. He didn't score the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half either. The one thing that Al and I talked about the other day was, and it's so true, and I was watching the game with Joni, and I'm going, if they're doubling him, there's 5 guys on the court. Someone's got to be open. If you're doubling him up top, someone's got to be open. And it seemed like Florida didn't get the ball quick enough out of his hands to get that open guy. But to his point, he hit a big 3 down the stretch. He made the drive and the layup. He finished with 11 points. And listen, I think he's going to be an NBA player. There's no doubt about it. He just, he didn't have a great shooting night. They pressured him.
No, Houston is predicated on defense. They held them to 65, right?
Right.
If you would have told me before the game, Florida's only scoring 65, they're losing the game.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to say they're going
to
lose.
Houston, they beat everybody. They held under 70 points.
That's right.
You know, but great teams find ways to win, guys. And you know, you got to take your hats off to Florida, because I agree, Benny, that those 4 games in the tournament they easily could have lost, but they were resilient. Right. They found ways to win, and then I call him the point guard, the big head boy. He finds a way to score when they need him to,
right.
And makes it happen. You know, the great players show up. They are great all the time. They're just great when they need to be.
That's all you got to do is be great when you need to be.
Congratulations to Todd Golden and Gator Nation. They won back-to-backs in 06 and 07 under Billy Donovan, and now they come back in 2025 and won it under Todd Golden. I think it's his third year with Gators, so great. Emmanuel Sharp, I got to ask this. Now, listen, I know it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I understand that, but I'm watching the game, and I'm saying this. You get it to your best player. That's L.J. Cryer. He's an ISO guy.
Right.
But he gives the ball up. He's at the top of the key to the left. He goes to shoot. Clayton Jr. jumps out at him. If he doesn't jump, Clayton Jr. goes by him. He's got a wide open jumper, or he can take a couple dribbles up and go for a wide open 15 to 18-foot jump shot. Why in the world he went up? It's like, what are you doing? Because the minute he did it, I said, he can't touch the ball. The game's he's doubled. You can't touch it. It's up and down. You can't touch it.
They just look like they had no clue what they wanted to do there. You know, like you said, their best player didn't touch the ball. They come down and they dribble 35 feet from the basket. Go to the basket. You're only down 2. Go to the basket. If they guard you, you kick it out and you shoot your 3. That's their offense.
Or they foul you and you go to the line with a chance to win the game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Try to force the foul. That butthole gets a little tight, though, when that pressure's on, guys.
But that happened 4 times in a row going down.
Yeah.
Last 4 possessions.
Al, I love that. That's a great analogy there. I couldn't use that, but you can get away with it. By the way, do we have any questions out there?
We don't, but
do we have anybody out there? Is anybody out there listening that has any comments on this game?
They're listening. So Matthew Dunn, he says Houston had 4 guards on the floor at the end of the game because all their big men were in foul trouble.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
They were. I know. Yeah, they did.
Of course.
That's true.
And that one guy was unbelievable. He made he flew out of nowhere to make some baskets, but they didn't have a clue, you know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
you said, the flow was bad, and it just, just 4 times in a row not shooting the basketball.
I know. It was offensive inefficiency at its finest.
That's right.
Real quick, tonight's poll question. We've got 2 of them. I know Tony was hitting me up here earlier. One of the poll questions is, everyone out there, I want a yes or a no. Will Duke's Cooper Flagg, who is the player of the year as a freshman, go to the NBA? Will he stay at Duke, or will he forego his 1 year or his remaining years and be drafted probably number 1 in the NBA? Listen, I was kind of hard on the kid. I got to be honest with you. You know, our buddy Johnny online, I was talking to him during the game, and I kept saying, wow, maybe he should have done this and should have done that. And then you keep forgetting, the kid reclassified. He should be a high school senior. I mean, the kid's a high school senior, and he's basically dominating and being the best player on the floor. I just think he looked tired at the end of the game. You know, that last shot was contested, to your point, Benny. You know, they got the ball in his hands. He didn't go to the basket. I would have liked him driving, but it was a 12-foot fall away. But
he had a shot. I mean,
the kid put his hand. Roberts, I think, had is a leaper. He's got some length. Got him. Got his hand in his face a little bit, but. You can't really blame him. Proctor missed the 1-on-1, right? You got to hit foul shots.
Yeah.
With under 12 seconds to go.
All of those games. I mean, Houston threw a few bricks up there also. Against Florida.
Oh, yeah, there was some ugly ones.
It always comes down to that in those crucial games, the free throw shooting. And it was a surprise. 60% free throw shooter against Duke. Roberts went to and zinged both of them, right in.
Right. Well, yeah, but the crazy thing for Duke is you're looking at Proctor, who I think in the game, the Elite Eight, the final game, he was on fire. I think he had 8 out of 9 threes at one point.
Yeah.
But then when he goes to the line, I was shocked, Benny, that he was a 62% free throw shooter. I'm like, the kid was money from three-point line, but 62%. And remember, Coach Martelli was on the show and said, guys, it's a free throw. And missed free throws like a missed opportunity, and you're giving the other team a chance to score 3 points right off that. I mean, you can't miss free throws. The women shoot free throws a lot better than the men, Al.
Houston.
Hey, you got when they're free, you got to take them and you got to make them.
Houston's coach, right before, it was either right before the tournament began or something, told his players that they're all not good free throw shooters. He made them shoot 150 free throws every day before the tournament started, because he said that was what was going to determine if you win or not.
Well,
because if you have the lead, they're going to foul you, so you got to make the free throws in order to keep the lead. And if trying to make a comeback and you're missing free throws, they're giving you points, and you don't take advantage of that.
Well, congratulations.
I got to say, though.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Yeah, I want to say, Les, that, Cooper Flagg, being a young kid like he is a tremendous talent, man. That kid can play basketball. And I watched a little documentary on him. He's from up there in Maine. But what a basketball player he is, man. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think he's going to probably end up being the first kid drafted here.
I think so.
But he's a tremendous talent. He seems like a real well-rounded, AJ squared away type kid. Yep. And I'm pulling for him, man. Yeah, and he had a great tournament too.
He does everything in basketball. He does everything. He plays defense. He shoots. He rebounds. He's just not a scorer.
Yeah.
He does everything. He'll affect the game without scoring. He's just that good.
And can play all the positions. Well, he can play the point.
Yeah, he can play point.
They wanted him to.
Yeah, I was going to say, guys, listen, he can score if you need it. He blocked one shot that was up. He gets up. I mean, he's an athletic. I mean, he got up and swatted something away. He'll find the open man. He's got a high basketball IQ. He knows how to move the basketball. He knows where to go. So there's no doubt I think he's going to be the number one pick. The big question is going to be, guys, is will he come out? Because if he stays in at Duke, and he likes the experience, listen, he's going to get one heck of an NIL deal to stay there.
Right.
I mean, between $8 and $10 million. I'm going to ask this question to both you guys.
He's going to be drafted number one, whether he comes out now or a year from now.
And he could get hurt doing anything, get hurt crossing the road. You know what I mean? So let me ask you guys this question. Let's go back to you guys being 17, 18. Al, I'll go with you first because you played, sports, at 1AA. Well, Benny, you played sports too.
I played baseball in college.
You did. All right, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to go to Al first.
I had 2 hits against a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Okay, well, all right. Do we have video? I'd love to get video of this. It would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't.
Wait a second. They didn't have video back in those days.
It was on film.
It was on
microfiche.
No, it was no, it wasn't. It was one of those tablets that they banged out like on the Mount Sinai there. Now, Al, let me ask you a question. You're 18 years old. You're a freshman. All of a sudden, you're in an environment with your friends. You're really enjoying college. It's your first time away, safe from home, whatever. And all of a sudden, you go pro. Now you got millions, but you're with guys who are 25, 26, 27. Legally, they can go out and hang out, party, and drink. You can't. I'm just saying legally, right? You're all of a sudden. I know when I was 18 years old, I didn't want to. I thought people who were 25 were old. I didn't want to hang out with 25-year-old people unless they were buying me beer. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, would you have made this? Would you really seriously think about coming back to school, knowing that you're foregoing the money, but you're going to make money as an NIL deal anyway. It's not like it was back when you played, right? You're going to make millions anyway. Would you seriously consider coming back to Duke if you were Cooper Flagg?
I think the way the game is set up now with the opportunities that the athletes have, he will consider that. I think that Duke is going to make an attractive offer that will garner him to really think about hanging around. He's just 18, 19 tops. And, I think to enjoy the college experience, a lot of kids are doing that. You see that with the football players. You got guys hanging around playing till they're 24 and 25 years old because they get the extra years of eligibility.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks need the snaps. I think, like Benny said, whether he comes out this year or next year, he's going to be the top guy either way. Mm-hmm. If he can stay healthy, he'll get bigger, stronger. I'd like to see him come back, to be honest.
Me too.
Go get the bag from Duke and hang around college basketball for a little bit.
And enjoy yourself. Enjoy get the college experience. What do you know? Right. You're gonna make the money eventually. So enjoy
He's making
yourself.
money now.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's the face.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, you had said it. So he's from Maine, right? I think he's from either Brunswick or Freeport, Maine, which, by the way, the basketball shoe now that is getting some real play is New Balance. And they're located, I believe, in Freeport, Maine, and that's where he's from. He's the face of it. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander just signed with them. I think they've got 8 NBA players, and they're going to make Cooper Flagg and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander the brand guys, right? So I think he's set up there forever. Betty, real quick question. If CW Post wanted you back for one more year, but you were going to be the number 1 pick and the Yankees had that pick, would you come back to CW Post, or would you go play for the New York Yankees?
I would go play for the New York Yankees.
Oh, that's spoken like a true New Yorker. You gotta like Benny. You gotta like the candor in the book.
You gotta be a Yankee, man. Come on.
I would not. I wouldn't play for that team.
That'd be your dream of your life, to be a New York Yankee.
Yeah, there you go. Well, if you're from New York, I guess it'd be a dream of your life. All right, guys. Listen.
I know what you would want to be. Bobby Orr's jockstrap.
Wow. Well, I'd like to be. Not Bobby Orr's jockstrap, but listen, the only thing Bobby Orr and I have in common is we wore number 4. On my birthday, I shot left-handed and we wore number 4. Then that's where the similarities end. So before we go to a break, guys, I do want another congratulations. We got UConn, we got Florida. And how about this? Someone who said a record would never be broken. Alex Ovechkin, Washington Capitals, with one team all these years, breaks what everyone said was one of the unbreakable records, Wayne Gretzky's goal-scoring record. Mm-hmm. He recorded goal number 895 Saturday night in the Island against the New York Islanders. Yes. They lost the game, but he does it. And we got some quick video on this record-breaking number 895 for number 8, the great 8, Alex Ovechkin.
Try to force it to him if he's open. Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores! He scores! Number 895!
Guys, that's like equivalent to Hank Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's home run record.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Listen.
I thought 4 years ago he had no shot at doing it. I thought he was like at the end of his career, and he's just continued to dominate. I mean, like scoring 40, 50 goals every year.
I mean, that's incredible. I think he's 39 years old. He has over 40 this year, but he's also missed 16 games with a broken leg earlier. So he probably would have broken this record a lot earlier. Yeah. You got to love the way he plays, too, because a different type of player than Wayne Gretzky, right? I mean, he's a lot more physical. I mean, he bangs.
Oh, yeah.
The one great thing about this is when he tied Gretzky's record, when he tied it 894, he did it in one fewer game than Gretzky did. So it wasn't like people will say, well, he needed 80 more games, to do it. Yeah. He did it in one less game. And in today's era, and I'm not knocking Gretzky at all. Listen, I don't think he's the best player that ever played. Like you said, I think Bobby Orr, in my opinion, was the best overall player. He didn't have the points, best overall player, but different era. In the 80s, it was wide open. Those Edmonton Oilers teams were just scoring goals in bunches. I mean, they had Messier and Anderson and Coffey. I mean, they were just an offensive juggernaut.
Mike Bossy scored 50 goals or more every year.
8 years in a row, which that's a record that I don't think will ever be broken. 8 consecutive years, Al, 50 or more goals. In 2 of those years, he scored over 60.
How did he not score that many? What is he on the list? Do you know?
Mike Bossy?
Yeah.
Well, he only played really 8 years because his 9th year he hurt his back. He scored 39 goals, and that was it. So he's got less than 600. But the thing is that if you look at pure goal scorer, he might be your best pure goal scorer. And Matt, I know you're out there right now, and you're a big NHL guy. We'd have to say that Mike Bossy's got to be maybe arguably the best pure goal scorer in NHL history, just based on what he did. Brett Hull was a tremendous goal scorer. Phil Esposito lit up the scoreboard in the 70s with the Bruins. He was the first guy to 70 plus. He had 76. So some great players in there. So congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. Fantastic. By the way, poll results, 50-50. Interesting. 50% of the people think he'll go back to Duke. The other 50 think he's going to forego his career at Duke and go to the NBA. Poll question number 2, and I forgot what the question was.
You know what, Les?
What's the poll question?
Being one being one game away from being in the final game, and having 2 other freshmen on the starting team, that may give him a little incentive to come back.
Well, the Boozer twins are coming back now. They're coming in next year. They're number 1 and 2 recruits.
That's right.
To win that national championship, that's also because he's that type of guy. You know,
he's competitive. He's competitive.
He's a team player.
Yeah.
He'll say, "Hey, let me go one more year. Let's try to win the national championship." And then I'll go. Then I go into the NBA.
Guys,
I think that's what's happen.
Yeah.
You ain't been there. I'm not a real hockey guy, but tell me what makes a great hockey player? Is it his skating ability? Is it his size?
I think
being able to slap shot. I mean, what makes a hockey player a great hockey player?
I think when you look at the iconic players, Matt, I know you're out there. I want you to tune in on this thing and throw it in there. My opinion, what makes a great hockey player, you have to have the ability, I think, to be a great skater. There are good hockey players. Luke Robitaille was a really good goal scorer. Wasn't a great skater. People will tell you that. He was just in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Being able to skate and have different gears, almost like a running back, having to shift into different gears. It's not one top speed. It's like lulling a guy to sleep, hitting that, and then hitting it again, like Connor McDavid. He's got that. Yeah. He's got that. The 2 or 3 gears. Bobby Orr had it. Gretzky had it. Lemieux had it.
The gentleman from Colorado,
McKinnon's got it.
McKinnon,
McKinnon's got it.
He's skating next to a guy, and then in a blink of an eye, he's 5 feet ahead of the guy. He just blows right by the guy.
Yeah. So speed, change of speeds. I would say your shot. Being able to get the puck off your stick. Not so much the hardest shot, but getting it off quick, so the goalie doesn't have time to set up. Right, getting it off your stick quick. Peripheral vision, being able to look one way and know where the other players are. You look at guys like Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky. They would skate one way and just throw a dish the other way, and you wouldn't know where the puck was going. It would find someone's stick. The ability to get open on the ice, too. There's 5 guys. It's helter-skelter sometimes. The ability to create space and get open and find your space, like Ovechkin, who always seems to find his spot in the power play. For some reason, I know they got the man advantage, but he's wide open. He finds his spots. So it's a mental ability, too. Physical style, I love the physical style, but Gretzky wasn't a physical player. Or was. No. Gretzky wasn't physical.
A lot of the greatest players now are small, fast guys that skate because the hockey has opened up a lot more.
Yeah.
The ice is, they wanted more scoring and they got it.
The bigger, faster.
They got the skaters.
Right. Yeah, but let's
the
face
game
it.
is so fast, too.
It is.
The game is fast.
Al, you got guys who are 6'3", 6'4", weighing 220, 230, skating 22, 23, 24 miles an hour. And it's like, and you're in a box. There's no running out of bounds. You can't go out of bounds. Right. I mean, you hit those boards, at 22 miles an hour, and it hurts. Speak from experience here. I've been lit up a few times, and it hasn't been much fun. I'm just going to tell you. All right. So I think we're going to go to a break right now. So congratulations to all the winners this past week. We're going to talk about a lot of things in sports, but our up for discussion tonight is, by the way, hold on. Poll question number 2 pertains to hockey. Will anyone ever take Wayne Gretzky's total points record? He had the record in goals. He's got a total of 2,857 points. That's goals and assists combined. Right now, the guy in second place is retired for years. Jaromir Jagr has 1921. I don't think that record will ever be broken. And we do have a question out there. So before we go to break,
Matt. Matt just chimed in.
Oh, okay. Matt, what are we saying here?
Skating skills first, but ability to see the entire ice and anticipate the play, and putting yourself in the best positions to take high percentage shots or passes to break up plays on defense.
There you go. What Matt said in a nutshell is Bobby Orr, number 4. That is what epitomized Bobby Orr's game. Everything that Matt just said there. So, guys, so that poll number 2 is open. Will anybody ever beat the all-time points record by Wayne Gretzky? Benny, I don't think anybody can do that.
You know less. How many years in a row was he over 200 points?
Oh God, 3 or 4 years in a row over 200.
Right. Yeah, nobody even comes close to 200 points now.
If you get 120, it's a huge year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it's hard to believe that because he would do it every year. It seemed like.
Yeah, I would say.
How long did Gretzky play? How long did he play?
someone out there, I don't want to go to my phone. I think maybe 21 to 22 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Oh,
yeah.
But I got to say, Al, you know what that's equivalent to? I'm just thinking right off the top of my head. His scoring, he had 202 points. I think that's the most anybody's. I think he had one season, he had 202 or something like that. That's the equivalent to a quarterback throwing for 6,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. That's what that would be like.
Yeah.
Which
that's
maybe Mahomes does it. Maybe someone does it someday. But boy, that's a head scratching right there. But guys, we're going to come back. Up for discussion tonight I'm excited about this. This is going to be some good debate. I want everyone out there to throw out yours. It's going to be, what was the biggest trade in sports history? Guys, there are hundreds of them. And we can get into how impactful those trades were. Just because they were big, who won the trade? The team that made the trade, the team that received the trade. We can talk about it across all sports. We're going to do that, and we're going to talk a little bit about more Michael Malone getting fired by the Nuggets as they hit the NBA playoffs. It's going to be interesting. We're going to do all of that and a little bit more when we come back.
It's tax time, and the tax ladies of Shiloh are ready to serve your tax needs. Since 2011, the tax ladies have been voted Best of Brunswick for tax preparation. We are here to help new arrivals to the area, and we are experts in multi-state returns. Every return is reviewed to make sure you get all the credits and deductions you deserve. Open all year, we also provide bookkeeping and payroll services. Trust the experts. Come to the tax ladies.
Locals Tavern, Leland, North Carolina's favorite neighborhood bar, just south of the bridge where everyone truly does know your name, offers a variety of cold brews, wine, and specialty cocktails, and offers something for everyone on their food menu. With daily lunch specials and live evening entertainment, Locals is a hot spot you won't want to miss, where you can unwind in a casual atmosphere with friends, both old and new.
At Revolution Basketball Training, we improve the skills of athletes with a diverse set of training programs for all ages. With innovative techniques and an experienced training staff, we push your skills to the next level, turning weaknesses into strengths. Technology like our instant feedback system accelerates learning and is one of the many reasons we are different. Join Connecticut's largest basketball movement. Don't just play the game, revolutionize it.
Welcome back to Swartz Talking Sports. I'm your host, L. Steven Swartz, but you can call me Les. We got Al the Rattler Chester, my man from Jacksonville, and in the middle tonight. And to my right, you got Leland's own Benny the Book Stimili. New York likes to claim him. Now he's Leland's own. So, guys, we got some good winners here. Now we're going to get into up for discussion, and it's going to be the biggest trade in sports history. I know there's a million of them, depending on where you live and what area you grew up in. Those trades are more important to you and things like that. So let's kick this off. I want everyone out there. I want to hear what your biggest trade in sports history is, and we'll debate it. If this is your first time checking out Swartz Talking Sports, hit that subscribe button. Comment. Let us know what you want to talk about on our show in the future. Let us know about today's show. We want to hear from you because that's how we get better. So check it out. Guys, I'm going to kick it off to you guys. Should we leave the biggest one for last, or we should just talk about recent trades, or let's go? I don't know.
Let me go first.
All right.
The two that come to my mind are the Herschel Walker deal. That turned the whole Dallas Cowboy franchise around. It led them into, they got Herschel. They got Herschel Walker, and they got 7 other guys. They probably got 3 Hall of Famers in that deal. I don't know exactly. I know they got a lot of number 1 picks and stuff like that. And the second pick, which has always been, is Babe Ruth going to the Yankees from the Red Sox.
Yeah, I don't like that one. That was a terrible trade.
Yeah, I know.
That was a terrible trade for the Sox.
I love it. And the most recent Doncic traded to the Lakers for, he's a great player, but injury prone. I mean, he was injured before he even got there.
Yeah, I think that so let's talk about let's bring up the Herschel Walker trade, Benny, which to your point just lit the groundwork basically for the 3 Super Bowls for the Cowboys. Right. They fleeced the Minnesota Vikings for Herschel Walker. They got 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, a 3rd, and a 6th in a 3-year period. One of those players being Emmitt Smith, the all-time leading rusher and Hall of Famer, Russell Maryland, Kevin Smith, Darren Woodson, who went on to be a great Pro Bowler with the Cowboys. And what did Minnesota get? They got maybe 2 decent years out of Herschel Walker when he was out of football. So they're the laughing stock right there. They got nobody. So Minnesota got fleeced on that deal. I'm going to bring up something.
Credit Jimmy Johnson for that now. Jimmy gets the credit for that.
Jimmy was the one who orchestrated that trade. Man, and people forget out there, guys, his first year when Troy Aikman was a rookie, that team finished 1-15. They were a joke. The Cowboys. Right. They were not very good.
Laughing stock.
Oh, my God, they were terrible. Now, here's one, guys, a trade that actually worked out awful. And I think Dave, I hope Dave's out there, my boy from Ohio, David Yoselevich, that's what we call him. Real quickly, Deshaun Watson goes from Houston to Cleveland. This might end up being one of the worst trades in NFL history. First of all, for the guaranteed money that they had to get, over $300 million guaranteed, and the fact that all the legal trouble Deshaun Watson was in prior to the trade, and now subsequently has happened while he's at Cleveland, and now he hasn't been on the field. When he wasn't good. Now he blows out his Achilles to the fact that Kenny Pickett's going to be starting for the Browns this year. Guys, that might be one of the worst trades in history.
The worst trade and the worst deal ever made in NFL history.
Al, awful.
How do you pay a guy guaranteed 200
plus million?
300 plus million. Wow, how many games has he played for Cleveland? 10?
I tell you what, when he was with Houston, he led the league in passing, touchdowns, and all that stuff. He got the legal troubles. He didn't play for a little bit, and I think that sitting out really it hurt his game. Cleveland was banking on him being the same Deshaun he was in Houston. He gets to Cleveland, and it just never materialized. And his game is actually kind of falling off the cliff after that. But the big piece is it was the guaranteed money, the big contract that they gave him. And they rolled the dice hoping that he would be the savior to take them to the mountaintop. And it just didn't materialize.
I always I thought the Jets should have drafted him when he came out of college, because I watched him play against Notre Dame, and he was fantastic in both championship games against Alabama. I mean, when the money was on the line, he performed. But something went wrong. I mean, he was, The
2 years he set out, Benny, I think he lost some juice. Yeah. And he never was able to regain it back. And the game just got too fast for him or something. I mean, he's never been able to regain that greatness that we saw that last year in Houston. Mm-hmm. How about this one, though? Benny and Les? John Gruden being traded to the Bucs. Now, this is a coach being traded, right. And you talk about the effects of it all. Mm-hmm. Gruden actually inherited Tony Dungy's team, but he gets credit for winning the Super Bowl. How about that?
That's true. Yeah, they beat. Who did they? They beat the Giants. No, who did they beat? Oh, the Raiders. They crushed the Raiders. I believe.
Right.
That was Rich Gannon was quarterback in the Raiders. Benny, so Babe Ruth gets traded from the Red Sox. I think it was $100,000. Al and I were talking about prior. In the play, no. Is anybody out there in Boston remember that musical? That was
Nanette?
Yeah, that was it.
Nanette?
No, Nanette. Something to do about they wanted to have it in Boston or whatever or something like that, so they made the trade. But the Yankees won 7 World Series with Babe Ruth. 7. And people forget how great he was. Not only was Babe Ruth was a Cy Young pitcher with the Red Sox.
Yeah,
he was a great pitcher.
He was the early day Japanese guy that we got.
He was Shohei Ohtani, right? Before Shohei Ohtani was. Listen, I think we have some questions out there, comments too, because we have some things. But guys, just to tell you how great Babe Ruth was. I know people say, well, he played a long time ago. When you look up what this guy did, in 1 year, he hit more home runs than the entire league did combined. Mm-hmm. That is mind-boggling. One man hit more home runs than the entire league did. How great was that? That's got to be arguably one of the greatest feats in sports history. Joni?
Yes.
Our chat girl is up. She's ready to go wearing my Sacred Heart hockey jersey. Okay. Let's go, Joni. Let's roll them out.
Okay. Well, Kevin Campbell early on said greatest trades, MLB Babe Ruth, NFL, Herschel Walker to Vikings.
Okay.
And Dave Edelstein also chimed in on that. You stole
What
his
did
thunder.
David Yoselevich say?
Well, he said the most stupid trade ever.
Which was who? Babe Ruth?
Browns, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Deshaun Watson. I agree, Dave. Dumb trade. Dave's out in Cleveland, so he reminds me of it all the time. What a dumbass trade that was.
And then his number 2, the Walker to Minnesota.
Walker to Minnesota,
yeah. Kevin Campbell, NBA, Bill Russell to Boston.
Bill Russell was actually drafted by the Celtics. I don't think he was traded to the Celtics. I think they drafted him. I think. Oh, Kevin, I might be wrong. Maybe they made a trade to get. Oh, wait a second. Didn't they get the rights? They traded somebody to St. Louis Hawks to get the rights to draft Bill Russell. I think he's right about that. I'm trying to think of who it was. It wasn't Bob Pettit. It might have been Cliff Hagan. I don't know. I wasn't born. But Betty, were you around at that time?
No.
Oh,
no.
All right. Just asking. All right.
I got to tell you, in NBA,
I was a little guy.
How about the Milwaukee Bucks drafting Lou Alcindor? They win the NBA championship with him, and they trade him away.
Traded him to the LA Kings. Hold on.
The guy,
Benny, to your point, they traded him to the LA Lakers for Elmore Smith, Brian Winters, who was a decent three-point shooter. Well,
I look at who they got. They got a bunch of good players. I mean,
but not for the greatest player in the NBA history.
One of the greatest players that ever played in the NBA.
Until LeBron James broke the record, he held the most points in the NBA. What else we got, Joni?
Okay, hold on a second, because John Irwin clarified.
Hey, Punter McGee's out there. Okay.
On draft day, the Boston Celtics acquired the draft rights to second pick Bill Russell from the St. Louis Hawks in exchange for Ed McCauley and Cliff Hagan.
I got Hagan right. I got Cliff Hagan right. Easy Ed McCauley, huh? Hey, listen, I was born in 1963. I know a little bit, okay? Good one there, Punter McGee. Okay.
Kevin Campbell also, NHL, Esposito, Hodge, and Stanfield.
That's a great one.
Boston.
By the way, guys, just let you guys know about going back to hockey here, but the Boston Bruins in 1970, I believe, traded Pitt Martin, Gilles Marat, and, oh, God, who's the other guy? Oh, my God, it's going to kill me. Oh, God, a defenseman. I forget his name. But they got Phil Esposito, Freddie Stanfield, and Ken Hodge. Phil Esposito went on to be the greatest goal scorer of the 1970s in the NHL. First guy to 70-plus goals. Hodge was an all-star right winger, and Freddie Stanfield was a point guy in the power play and played on probably the second-best line, second-best second line in the NHL in the early 70s. And the Bruins won 2 Stanley Cups. So, and Chicago won nothing. So, a great trade by the Bruins on that one. What else we got?
Wait a minute. Rob says.
Oh, Rob's awake. Hey, Rob.
Mm-hmm. Denver trading for Russell Wilson was embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, actually, wow, that's a good one. Yeah, Russell Wilson hasn't done much with Denver. That's not exactly the greatest trade.
Yeah, well, Russell's about to play his way out of the Hall of Fame. I tell you that.
You're not. We could talk. We're going to talk Michael Malone too about what happened.
Let me tell you. He's in for a lot of trouble this year. He better hope he don't win the job to be the starting quarterback for the Giants.
Who's this?
He'll get killed.
Who?
Russell Wilson.
Russell.
Oh.
He's going to be the starter. Right now, he is the starter.
I thought he was talking about Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook got traded for somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got Russell Westbrook. Hey, guys, just listen. I had a glass of wine before the show, okay? That explains a lot, okay? Russell Wilson is with the Giants now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that just
along with Jameis Winston.
They got 2 quarterbacks that are collecting Social Security.
Well, that just basically
they're collecting Social Security, both of those guys.
That ensures that the New York Giants will be picking in the top 3 in next year's draft. Okay.
I think he should have sold the whole franchise, right? Mara sold part of the franchise.
Jeez, my God.
You should have sold the whole thing.
I mean, listen, I love Russ, and Russ was a great quarterback with the Seahawks, but, he didn't do much at Denver, and he didn't do much last year.
His days have been long gone.
Yeah, maybe he should play baseball. Wasn't he going to try to play baseball?
Right out of the Hall of Fame.
We must have some more. Hey, guys, keep this going. This is good. This is good discussion. What else we got out there?
Okay. Tech for fun. Big Poppy trade early 2000s to Red Sox.
Good trade. That's a really good one. Minnesota Twins traded. And remember, David Ortiz was not a household name back in the day, and he turned out to be maybe the biggest clutch hitter of the 2000s in Major League Baseball. He's a Yankee killer, Benny. He's a Yankee killer. You see, notice how Benny doesn't talk right now when we talk about the Yankees going down. See this right?
Yankees in that right in that Herschel Walker trade, besides picks, they got 13 players and picks for Herschel Walker and 3 picks.
Might be the worst NFL trade next to Deshaun Watson.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, it's probably.
Benny,
go ahead.
How about this one, Benny? How about Eli and Phillip Rivers on draft?
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Well, you know something, though? Phillip Rivers, it wasn't like he was a bum. He had a nice career with the Chargers.
Phillips had a great career.
I mean, he put up great numbers. I mean, Eli, I'll be honest with you. If you want to look at regular season numbers, I'll argue that Rivers had better numbers than Manning. Manning did win the 2 Super Bowls. I'll give him
without
that.
a doubt.
Give him that.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
No question.
Al, there's like you said, that's how he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. He was great when he needed, when it was most important. Like during the regular season, I think he probably threw as many interceptions as touchdown passes, but
he did.
Green Bay that day, he was great. He was in the Super Bowls. He made the plays. He was good in the play. He was very good in the playoffs.
What else we got?
Right.
And he was a steady
more?
force that was there for many years, game after game after game.
Guys, we got we got
Right.
it going tonight. We got a lot of people chiming in here, so this is really good. I know this is going to hit. This was going to be good because I got a lot more here. But go ahead.
What else?
Tony.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Give us some.
John Irwin.
Punter McGee.
1980 Celtics send pick number 1 and number 13 for Robert Parrish and a number 3, which they used to pick Kevin McHale.
Great trade there by Red Auerbach. Basically, with Larry Bird cementing the Celtics. All Hall of Famers. Fantastic. That a way to go, punter. Okay, poll results. 22% out there think that Wayne Gretzky's point record will eventually be broken. I want to know who those 22% are. 74% said no. There's no way. I'm just telling you right now, that is a record that's never going to be broken, just like Cal Ripken's consecutive game record. Yeah. That'll never be broken because guys break down all the time. Great. Yeah. That was a great one, John. What else we got?
Oh, John has another one.
Punter!
Lakers trade Gail Goodrich to the Jazz for what becomes the number 1 overall pick.
And Magic Johnson.
Use that pick. Yeah.
Gail Goodrich, basically for Magic Johnson. Wow, Dr. Jerry Buss fleeced somebody out at Utah. Wow, that was pathetic, huh?
Oh, I got it. I got a good one.
Uh-oh, what do we got? Book come up with a good one. Do I have to take a drink of water first?
The Mets trading away Nolan Ryan.
Ooh, big one.
For what? I think it was...
Who did they trade him for?
Let's see. No, it wasn't Jim Fregosi, was it?
I don't know.
I think it was a third baseman that they traded him for. Let me see something.
The golf boys, are they out there? Is Rich out there at all?
Who?
Richie,
yeah. He said he was watching it today.
Is he out there?
He was watching at his friend's house.
Chimed in. He's not chimed in.
Rich, time to chime in. How about this one? I got one.
You know, the Red Sox made a lot of bad trades.
I know
they traded away Jeff Bagwell.
We did. We traded away Bagwell for Larry Anderson.
Hall of Famer.
But hold on.
Larry Anderson. He played baseball? I thought he was a football player.
Listen. At the time, I agree with you. John, back me up on this. At the time of the trade, Larry Anderson was a good reliever. The Red Sox needed one, and Bagwell was in Double-A in New Britain, and he was not a home run hitter at the time, so they didn't know what they were trading away. If they could have foreseen that he was going to be a Hall of Fame hitter and a Hall of Fame player, they probably wouldn't have made the deal. How about this one? John Elway refusing to be drafted by the Baltimore Colts holds out, and they traded the number 1 pick to the Denver Broncos, and they get John Elway. How about that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember that one? He was going to play for the Yankees.
Yeah.
I gotta give the golf boys credit on that one. Someone hit that one up there.
I've got a couple more.
Who we got?
A couple more.
Oh, a couple more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. James Binkowski.
Yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
Charles Haley.
Oh my God, he's the Book's brother-in-law. I'm so sorry, James.
Charles Haley to Cowboys. That hurt.
Yeah, Charles Haley got traded from the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He was drafted out of JMU.
Figures he would give us a San Francisco trade.
Yep. That was a big one. That was a big one. What else we got?
Okay. We've got Matt. Matt says Mookie Betts for Alex Verdugo. Yeah, that's wow. How about that one? Mookie Betts wins what does he won? 1 or 2? Has he won 1 World Series, or the Dodgers won 2 with him? The Red Sox won 1 with him in 2018.
Now he's moving. Believe it, Mookie Betts was going to be a Hall of Fame outfielder. Now he's playing short or second or something with the Dodgers.
He played second last year. He's playing short this year. Wow. He was an all-star outfielder. He's played every position for the Dodgers.
Going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. That was a good one, Matt.
You know who else made a lot of bad trades?
Oh, who's this?
The Expos, because you had brought up earlier.
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, what about they also traded away Randy Johnson?
They did. They traded Randy Johnson. That's right. Oh, my God. Well, let's get to Pedro Martinez, who, I would say between 1998 and 2004 was the most dominant pitcher in baseball. They traded him to the Boston Red Sox for Carl Pavano, and I think it was Tony Armas. And wow.
But Pedro was traded to Montreal for second baseman Delino DeShields.
True, but he wasn't Pedro with the Dodgers at that point yet, right? He was a young upcoming kid because his brother was there. Remember, his brother was a pitcher with the Dodgers? Pedro's big brother. So he wasn't the dominant pitcher he was, but he was lights out with the I think he had under 2 ERA with the Montreal Expos the year before he was traded to the Red Sox. Guys, we haven't talked about
look at the Mets that Nolan Ryan trade was they traded Nolan Ryan, Leroy Stanton, and catcher Francisco Estrada, 4 players to California for shortstop Jim Fregosi.
Was Estrada related to Chico Escuela?
Yeah.
Remember him on Saturday Night Live, Chico Escuela, the boys' school? I don't know.
They gave away 3 guys plus one of the greatest pitchers ever for Jim Fregosi.
Well,
how about this one?
Go ahead, Al.
The Rams and the Lions swap quarterbacks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Al. You know what, Al? I think that worked out for both teams.
Yeah,
it did.
That was a trade where it doesn't happen very often where
both teams win.
Guys,
both teams won that.
Both win. A lot of times they'll say, "Well, wait 2 years down," but that happened right away. I mean, that was a winner for both. That was a winner for both.
That was it. Yeah, that's one of those trades. When you make a trade, you hope that it's an equitable trade, right? Both teams, win in the trade. Both teams. Now, okay, I want to ask you guys something too, because this is important too. How you gauge the trade? But go ahead, Joni.
Oh, so Kevin Campbell has a really good one. Worst amateur hockey trade: the Jewish Jet to the Rusted Blades in 1998. Who would that be, Les?
First of all, I wasn't traded. I went as a free agent for a bag of donuts. So that's what I was. That's what I went for. I was an easy mark there. Guys, real quick. How do you value the trade, right? Should it be if you trade for that player, is it if the player plays well or the team wins? There are trades where the player does well, but the team doesn't win. So how do you evaluate that? Let's put that out to some of our viewers out there. How do you evaluate the I don't know how well the trade was? Is it based on the player you get playing well or him helping you actually win? Because if you get the player and he does well, but your team doesn't win, well, why would you make the trade, right? I mean, why you want to ultimately win. So
you always make the trade to
better your team, chances, right?
To improve your chances of winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Improve your chances to winning. What else?
You guys Al, you mentioned John Elway, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he was drafted number 1 by the Colts, and he must have forced the trade.
He did. He forced the trade to Denver
for Mark Herman. For Mark Herman and Chris Hinton.
Mark Herman was actually a serviceable quarterback at Purdue back in the day. Just letting you know. By the way,
big tall guy.
Here's one that no one's brought up. No one's brought this up yet. Wayne Gretzky being traded at the height of his career. He's Mr. Canada. They just come off winning a Stanley Cup. He goes to the Los Angeles Kings for Jimmy Carson. Now, Jimmy Carson was scored 50 goals with the Kings.
Was that Johnny Carson's son?
It was. No, it was Johnny Carson.
Makes sense, man. It makes sense.
I never heard of it.
It was Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon's illegitimate love child. How's that one for you? But no, Jimmy Carson was a heck of a player back in the day when he was young, and I think what happened to him was he got thrown into this trade with Edmonton. And how in the world how are you going to Edmonton when they just traded the best player potentially in hockey history for you? He couldn't deal with the pressures, and he collapsed. But Gretzky never won a cup with the Kings, but he got him to the Stanley Cup Finals in '93. But he changed hockey in the West Coast in the Sun Belt forever because now it was a northern sport, right? It always was. Now you've got kids coming out Florida, Alabama, Texas, all up and down the California coast, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada. You're getting all that. In the state of Washington, Oregon. Now there's hockey in the state of Washington. There's hockey in Utah. There was hockey in Arizona. There's 3 teams in California. You've got 2 Sun Belt teams. He really did that. He bolstered hockey. So from an impact standpoint, yeah, the Kings didn't win. But what they did was he changed the culture of hockey, I think, forever in that area. What else do we have?
Les, I'd like to comment on that, on what you said about the trade and the value that the trade has, the impact that the player may or may not have.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is what Bennett said is winning. I mean, that takes care of everything.
Right.
But now, if you want to measure the player traded for the other player traded to see their productivity, you want to measure their productivity. But the bottom line is winning. I mean, winning takes care of it all. You want to win the game.
Yep.
I hear you. Now, from Boston fans out there, hold on real quick. I know you're going to get to one. For Boston Red Sox fans out there, this was something that was improbable at the time. The Red Sox in 2003 had been beaten by the Yankees in the ALCS yet again. And in 2004, they're battling for a wild card playoff spot. They take, arguably, the greatest shortstop at that time, maybe it was him and Jerry Jeter, Nomar Garciaparra. As we say in Boston, Nomar. We don't say our R's, we say Nomar. Okay, Garciaparra, who was a 2-time batting champ, and we make a trade mid-season to the Cubs, and we end up with Orlando Cabrera, starting shortstop, and Doug Mankiewicz, who was a first baseman, great defensive first baseman, and the Red Sox go on and break the curse, and they do it by beating the New York Yankees and then sweeping the St. Louis Cardinals. That was a trade that when it happened, people in Boston were losing their minds because Nomar was our guy. And Jeter was your guy. We had Nomar. But what happened was they made the trade. The Red Sox won, and the rest is history. So, I mean, what a great trade by Theo Epstein, orchestrated by Theo Epstein. At the time, not well received, but ended up being a fantastic trade by the Red Sox. Go ahead.
Yankees trading Chapman to the Cubs.
Or Orlandis Chapman. Yeah, Orlandis Chapman.
The Cubs win the World Series. They needed the reliever. He won the World Series, and the Yankees re-signed him the next year, and they got Gleyber Torres, one of the guys that was considered at that time to be the next guy that was going to.
And now he's the closer for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What do we got?
Oh, I was just going to say you stole John's thunder by talking about the Orlando Cabrera.
Orlando Cabrera. Sorry about that, punter.
Yes, so he brought that up earlier on.
So, I mean, these are all guys. I mean, I'm just throwing at the A-Rod to the Yankees for the Rangers and a bag of cash. Shaq got getting traded from the LA Lakers to the Miami Heat. Got them a championship.
Kobe Bryant getting traded.
Kobe Bryant? Yeah. Who did he start his career off with? Kobe Bryant. I thought he got drafted by the Lakers, didn't he?
No, I thought he did.
You sure?
Kobe's been on.
I could have sworn
he's a lifetime Laker.
No, I think you're talking about Joe Bryant, his father, Jelly Bean.
It was Dwight Howard traded to the Lakers.
Dwight Howard, who he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's I don't know. Dwight Howard ever did. What are we doing? Are we wrapping? we getting a sign here? I don't know. My producers give me a sign. We got one more?
Yeah. Actually, I just have a real quick thing. So Barry Smith says, does the trade elevate the team? And then Kevin Campbell chimed in and said, not always. Bruins trading Ray Bourque.
Oh, yeah, Ray Bourque traded to the Colorado Avalanche.
Was simply to give him a chance to win a cup.
To win the cup. That's why they traded him.
But that's why they traded him. But I got to say, Kevin, he elevated Colorado Avalanche defense because he was there 2 years. The first year, I think they lost to the Red Wings, and then they came back and won it his second year. But he was still a really, really good defenseman, all-star caliber defenseman. And with him and Rob Blake were the first peer. So I think that certainly elevated. It not only helped him win a cup, and that's what Harry Sinden did, really, to get him out of Boston because he'd been there so long, and the Bruins just weren't going to win a cup. But he really elevated the play of the Colorado defense and helped them win the Stanley Cup in 2002, along with Joe Sakic and Patrick Roy.
Tampa Bay traded away Steve Young to the 49ers.
Tampa Bay traded. Yeah. That's right. And that's right. He started with the LA Express, right? He was in the USFL.
He did. Yeah, USFL, right.
Yeah, USFL out of Brigham Young.
Okay, hold on. John's clarifying Kobe Bryant. In the 1996 NBA draft,
Yes.
Kobe Bryant, a high school phenom, was selected by the Charlotte Hornets with a 13th pick,
Ooh,
but was
Benny.
immediately traded to the LA Lakers.
Well,
for
oh my
center.
God,
Oh.
Al, we've got to
Good
bow
call,
our
Benny.
heads to
Good
the
call,
book.
Benny.
Book.
Yeah. The book.
Charlotte Hornets, and until this day, they stink now. The Charlotte.
I
Charlotte
hold on.
team.
I have
They
to,
stink.
Benny. I got to give you props.
Yeah, Benny.
I
You're on
was.
point, buddy.
Hold on. Let me do a Fonzie. I was. I can't say it. I was wrong. Hey, John. Thank you for clarifying that. See,
Thank you, John.
I just
Good
got to tell
job.
you. First of all, not only do we
got
have.
we got some great viewers out
We've
there.
got not only amazing
They-
viewers, right? Not that
they know
stick
that-
with us
they-
every Wednesday, but
they
know
know
their
their
sports.
stuff. They know their sports.
Man, we got that stuff. We got the smartest sports audience out there. Pat McAfee might have the money. He might have all that stuff, but I'm going to tell you, when it comes to viewers, we got him beat. I'm just telling you. What
And you
else
have
we
better
got?
looks,
Hands
too.
down. Hands
Got
down.
a few more?
And the three of you are better looking, too.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Joni says the three of us are better looking. Well, thank you
Thank you,
very
Joni.
much, Joni.
Thank
Well,
you,
Thank you,
Joni.
Joni.
First of
Okay.
all, she has to say that because she's coming home with me. She has to say that.
So-
we have any more because we're
I-
running on
so-
1 hour and
I
1
know-
minute. I
I
told
know,
Tony
but,
I'd keep it under an hour.
You know, it's a big sports week.
It is. Oh yeah,
So
big sports
Sean,
week. What do
Sean
we got?
Connolly, he was
Sean,
like-
you're with us tonight.
He
All
is.
right.
So he said early on, screw all this other stuff.
Okay.
Frozen 4. Frozen 4.
That's right, guys. Tomorrow night, the Frozen 4 starts. They skip a
Oh,
week not to
yeah,
compete.
right.
We've got in game number 1 the defending champion Denver Pioneers up against
Western Michigan.
the Western Michigan Broncos, who I personally like. Look out for a guy named Alex Bump and Tim Washee. They're great. And then in the nightcap, you got my BU Terriers out of Boston University, the Hudson Brothers. We're not talking about those Hudson Brothers, the other ones, Hutson. And they are battling Penn State. First time ever in the Frozen 4. They beat I believe it was UConn last week in double overtime. So, and one of our listeners and viewers, Mike Miller and his wife Susan, they're on their way to St. Louis. They'll be at both of those games. Next year, Joni and I, we're going to Vegas, baby. The Frozen Four's in Las Vegas. That's where we're going to be next year at this time. So, what do we
in
got?
the chapel afterwards, right?
And Benny, do you really think that we would do this without you? Do you really think we would do this without our team?
I'm always going for Vegas. I'd always go to Vegas.
What are you going to put down on the odds that we get married?
Hey, you know what else is this weekend? Big weekend for us golfers.
Oh, that's right.
Masters.
Guys, we have the Masters starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get the picks, hey, first of all, Sean's with us. Listen, I just got the word from Sean's brother, Scotty. Jack had a great pro day. He's been invited to the Patriots pro day. The draft's in a few weeks. Listen, all of us here, Swartz Talking Sports, behind Jack Conley. We are so happy. Jack, I want you to kill it at Pat's
Way to
pro
go,
day.
Jack. Way to go.
Let's get signed by a team. Hey, listen, if you get drafted, that's awesome. If you don't, let's get a free agent signing and get us in there, Jack.
Come on, Giants. Let's go. Get Jack.
Get Jack. Giants get Jack. Patriots get Jack.
No, Patriots. But forget Patriots.
Will you
Giants.
stop the Giants? He's going to be snapping the ball to two guys who are going to fall apart. Come on, stop it. Who else we have there?
Oh no, Kevin Campbell. He says that that Colin Morikawa is going to win the Masters, but only if you don't play, Les.
Oh, only if I don't play, Benny. He hasn't seen me play lately.
I got to tell you, a lot of people are touting this Morikawa. He's not winning.
Okay.
He's not winning.
All right, Benny, give me your top five.
Give you two.
Give me your top five.
My top five.
Yeah. Give me
Bruce
your
Koepka.
Koepka. Okay.
Bear.
Like Lucas, yeah.
Lucas.
Oh, Ludwig. I'm sorry, Ludwig. Ludwig
Hebert.
Texas Tech's Red Raider. Yeah.
You got to go with the number one player, Scotty.
I don't think he's going to win. Okay.
Shoffley.
There's Rory.
Okay.
And
what about
Rory?
Rory. Okay.
Rory. That's my fifth.
L. Are you going to throw us a name out there?
I'm co-signing all those five names, Ben. I'm with Ben in the book, man. I'm holding on to his coattail. I like Rory. I like the top player, the top guy in the country playing right now too.
I got a feeling Koepka or Hebert is going to do it.
Hebert
was there. He was there last year.
He was,
and it was his first time playing. And players don't play good there the first time. And he's got that makeup that he's out there having fun.
Well, first of all, so if Rory wins, right, and a sentimental choice has to be Rory, because if he can win
Grand
this,
Slam.
he gets the Grand Slam, right? And he's played really well this year. He won the Players. He's
won
probably
two,
the best.
twice this
yeah,
year.
I was going to say he's
Won
probably the
twice.
best driver of the golf ball on tour, I would say, as far as distance and accuracy. Putting, we just don't know, right? Sometimes he makes them, and sometimes he doesn't.
But he happens to be putting very well lately.
He's putting well. Scotty's the number one player, Benny, and I know if Gary's out there, is Gary Bush out there?
No, I mean,
Oh,
I
wow.
haven't
Gary's
seen
not
him.
out there? Oh, well, all right. Well, you'll talk to him tomorrow. Listen, I think Scotty's the number one player, but he hasn't played like it this year. You know, he's got off to a slow start. His stats are behind. Last year, he came in on fire.
Yeah.
I think he had won 2 and runner-up in 1.
Right, yeah.
I see him. We'll see what happens in the opening round. You could see somebody that you're not expecting. Maybe a Lucas Glover. Maybe a Denny McCarthy, who's a hell of a putter. Maybe maybe a Horschel, Billy Horschel. Maybe
Billy Horschel.
How about a live guy like Joaquin Neiman?
What about Rahm?
John Rahm. We don't see these guys, right? Yeah, we don't see these guys. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's going to be. I'm going to take Joaquin Neiman. How's that one? I'm going to take Joaquin Neiman.
Okay.
To upset everybody. Love to see Rory do it. I like Koepka. I'm a Koepka guy. I like him. Don't think DeChambeau is going to do it. He's not been in super form in live, from what I understand. Phil backed out, right? Phil's not playing. Right? He backed out.
He was
yesterday.
there today. I saw him on the practice round today.
Okay, someone said that he backed out. That's interesting.
No, he was. I saw him on the practice round on the practice range today.
Love to see Lefty do it. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up real quick. So Mike Malone gets canned by the Nuggets. A week before the playoffs start, they were in a tailspin. They lost. What you say, Betty? 7 out of the last 10, 4 in a row.
7 out of the last 10. Yeah.
There's evidently a problem between him and Calvin Booth, the GM, and Kroenke's going to can Calvin Booth. Jokic is keeping that thing together. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you, I watched a lot of Nuggets basketball. I think Jokic and SGA are 1-2, as far as MVP. But I got to tell you, Jokic is great, but they don't win it without a healthy Jamal Murray. They can't win it. He can't carry the team himself. Jamal Murray is such an integral piece of that team. Yeah. Playing off the ball, right?
Like Stockton and Malone.
I agree, just like that. Yeah, Al, what do you think? Jamal Murray's got to be healthy.
I agree, totally agree. It's a combo deal with those guys.
Jokic is fantastic, though. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he can't do it by himself.
Oh, he's awesome.
Can't do it by himself.
He can't do it by himself. I don't think. Listen, LeBron's great, but he needs Doncic to be healthy and playing at a high level. And I got to tell you, the one guy that the Lakers in watching them, I know we're gonna hang it up in a little bit here. The one guy that's really kind of came into his own last year and is putting up numbers, guys. Austin Reeves is one heck of a player for the Lakers. You sleep on him, he'll drop 25 on you.
He's a shooter.
A quiet 25,
Deadly assassin.
Goes to the basket, yep.
He reminds me, I'm not going to say he's the same player, but he reminds me of Miami with Tyler Hero. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Hero is not an explosive player, but just all of a sudden you look at the stat line. Wow, 27 points, 8 rebounds. Wow, interesting. Or 8 assists. Really good. But guys, I think this was a great show. Great input out there. Thank everybody for hanging out with us for the last hour and 8 minutes. And listen, if you like tonight's show, you are going to love next week's show. And I'm telling you, it's going to be the most informative show we have ever had on Sports Talking Sports, because everyone's talking NIL. Everyone's talking athletes getting paid. Everybody's talking transfer portal. Everyone's talking pro contracts. How do you negotiate, renegotiating, arbitration, all of this. Your questions and more are going to be answered next week. We are going to be lucky enough to have live Greg Clifton. He's the chair for college and professional sports law at Lewis and Brisbois. He's a current sports agent. He's negotiated and is negotiating current NIL deals for student athletes, as well as deals that athletes are getting out of colleges and how to get them out of these things. We're going to talk about, to Al's point, how do college players get paid? Is it monthly? Is it yearly? Do they get penalized? If they leave a school and they leave money on the table, how does it work? We're going to talk about when a team goes to arbitration, what that's like, having a player versus ownership. We're going to talk about what it's like to be a sports agent in today's world versus 20 years ago. What do you have to give the athlete? All of these questions that we've all been asking ourselves the last year and a half are going to be answered by Mr. Greg Clifton next week at 8 o'clock. Can't wait to have him. You please tune in. You don't want to miss this. So, guys, everybody, again, I want to thank all the viewers. Again, if this is your first time watching Sports Talking Sports, hit that subscribe button, comment. What an awesome show. Like I said, the other shows might have all the money. They might be in ESPN. We have the content, and we have got the smartest viewers out there in the sports world. So, For my amazing chat girl, Joni, the man behind the magic, Tony, the wizard, Smaraldi, for Al, the Rattler Chester, and Benny the Book. Benny, hit him well tomorrow on my home course. Don't make me,
I will.
Don't make me, embarrassed out there.
I'm not going to break the course record. I'll break the course record tomorrow.
All right. I might break it. I might break it for the most strikes out there on this weekend. But again, for everybody here at Swartz Talking Sports, this is Les Swartz. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m.